So ever since I started working out, I've been able to maintain a pretty jacked physique, a pretty shredded physique, whatever you want to call it. Abs always showing, biceps, shoulders always popping, the lines between the muscles, all of that kind of stuff. And the reason I've been able to do that is because I follow some principles. And at first I did it unconsciously, subconsciously, I guess you would say. And now I clearly understand what they are, and they're principles that everybody can follow to achieve the same physique that I've been able to maintain no matter what the season of life is, whether it is in the winter time, the end of year like it is right now. And obviously you have the big holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, that allow you to kind of spiral and maybe put on a few extra pounds, maybe lose some of that definition that you had. Or if it's in a period where I'm working a lot and I can only go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, or let's say I'm traveling, right? Whether it's for vacation or for work, I've always been able to maintain this kind of body. And people always ask me, how are you able to do it? How do you stay so shredded all the time? Whenever they see me, I'm always in shape. You know, your friends that you might see one summer and they worked really hard the past 3 months and they look great, but then you see them a few months later when you get together to watch the season opener of the football game and they don't look the same, right? I feel like that's what happens to most people because they treat fitness, they treat their physique like a one-time activity. Like, I'm gonna build the physique that I want this one time, and then it's really hard for them to maintain. Meanwhile, I'm able to maintain this. And it really comes down to a couple principles that you can follow, okay? Number one, it starts with what you put in your body, so your diet. Now, we all know the saying that abs are built in the kitchen, and that is primarily true simply because the kitchen or wherever you eat is going to be where you either get in a caloric surplus, meaning that you're going to gain weight, or a caloric deficit, which is where you're going to lose weight. Now, what you actually fill those calories with, what you eat, really matters. Okay, because a lot of people try to go on a caloric deficit, but they're eating the wrong things. They're going to be starving. You're going to feel like shit. And then you're going to have one of those bodies that is hard to maintain. Even if you're able to build to the physique that you want, you're able to get to that dream summer body for that vacation, you're not able to maintain it over the rest of the year because you built unhealthy habits. And so if you can actually eat the right foods while you're cutting down to look the way you want, you're actually going to be able to build a lifestyle, to build eating habits that you're going to be able to maintain forever. So where that starts with the diet is eating whole foods. You should only really eat whole foods for the most part. What does that mean? That means foods that you know exactly where they come from, okay? When it comes to like carbs, right? You're talking about potatoes, you're talking about rice, you're talking about, let's say, oatmeal. You're talking about things that are whole, that are not processed, things that you don't know where they come from or that are man-made, clearly bread. Right? You don't just pull bread off a tree. You don't do that. You don't just find pasta hanging from bushes and you just pull out the pasta. All those things are processed. So if you can limit those as much as possible, that's recommended. On the meat side, eat things that you, again, the same thing that you know where they come from. You know exactly how it was made. Steak, chicken, right? Those are animals, those are things. Even jerky, which is a snack that I tend to go to somewhat often, is something that isn't ideal because it is processed. Okay, so it's made in a lab technically, like it's gone through multiple rounds of engineering, let's call it, to create that digestible form of food. On the other hand, steak is literally just cut from the cow, boom, went to the grocery store, now you have it at home, you can cook it. Same with chicken, anything that is whole like that. So you want to eat whole foods, okay? Fruits, meats, so chicken, steak, fish, that kind of thing. And then as far as carbs go, limit it to rice, potatoes, and then I like oatmeal in the mornings. There is a very small level of processing that goes with oatmeal, and so but it's minimal compared to other things. And so oatmeal for me is a great way of just getting carbs early in the morning and kind of starting your day off on the right note. Okay, that's number one, eat whole foods. Number two is eat enough protein. Most people don't eat enough protein. Everyone I talk to, they just simply don't eat enough protein. And the reason this is important is because your protein, eating more protein is going to actually satiate you more, meaning that you're not going to be hungry and you're not going to crave those snacks. Okay, so by combining the whole carbs that you're going to eat, and eat a good amount of them. Don't starve yourself by any means. Eat a good amount of those carbs, but also eating a good amount of protein. And a good amount of protein, by the way, is going to be 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you have. So right now I'm 184, meaning that I would be eating 184 grams of protein in a day. It's really simple to calculate. Now you can track your calories if you want to. That's a whole nother video that we can get into, but you don't necessarily have to track your calories. I recommend at first, if you have no idea how much protein you're taking in, just track them for a couple days, track them for a week. Okay. Get a free tracker. I have a free tracker on my phone called My Macros, and you're able to track all the calories that you're bringing in. So just track like the chicken, the protein powder, like all of that kind of stuff that you eat, and see how much protein you're taking in. I would say a lot of you guys are taking in a lot less protein than generally is recommended, and therefore you probably have more cravings, which causes you to go to the snack jar to go eat some chips in between, you know, your meals and things like that that are not helping your ability to stay lean. Oh, and real quick, guys, one note as I edit this video on the same topic of eating to stay satiated, right? We talked about protein and how that's going to help. Healthy fats are going to help as well on a very high level. And so healthy fats, my favorites are going to be olive oil, avocado, and nuts. And I eat those like every day. Nuts can be in the form of nut butter as well. And so I like to throw peanut butter on my oatmeal. Almond butter is great as well. And then I drizzle olive oil on basically all my meals. And avocado I'm a huge fan of as well. And the reason that's huge is because that's going to help you stay satiated, again, on top of the protein that you're eating, and going to make you kill your cravings. Like, you're not going to have cravings for those high carb, those, you know, those refined sugars and stuff like that. The fats are going to take care of all of that. So make sure you're incorporating that within your meals. It's going to be huge. It's going to play a huge part. So that's one quick note I'll add as well. All right, what else do I avoid? I avoid dairy for the most part. I do eat cheese on the weekends on occasion, but the reason I avoid dairy for the most part, like I said, is because it's largely inflammatory for most people. In general, human beings are actually lactose intolerant. It's actually people that are not lactose intolerant actually have a mutation that allows them to eat dairy. So most of us actually don't process dairy in the best way. Not only that, but dairy tends to have sugar, especially if you're drinking milk. And that's the next thing, is I avoid sugar as well. And so just on the dairy aspect, I do eat cheese on occasion. If I have a cheat meal on the weekend and I have pizza, obviously there's cheese on that. But for the most part, I avoid any dairy throughout the week and throughout just my day-to-day routine. Okay. Now, sugar, avoid that at all costs outside of fruits. If you're following the first rule where I said just eat whole foods, then you're already avoiding sugar because you're not eating processed foods. Any processed food that you eat is probably going to have additional sugar. If you're ever buying any processed foods, let's say you're buying tortillas or something like that, check the label, check the ingredients, see if there's sugar on it. If there is, try to avoid that. Just sugar is not good for you, man. Candy, chocolate, all that kind of stuff. And if you're a sugar fiend, I actually love, you know, chocolate and stuff like that. If you're a sugar fiend, then you definitely have an addiction right now. It's reality. Sugar is just as addictive as cocaine, or maybe it's more addictive than cocaine. I forget what the number is. It might be like one of those that's like 200 times more addictive than cocaine. However, if you're addicted to sugar, which a lot of you may be, all you need to do is try to wean off of it for, let's say, like 7 to 10 days, because I've been in that point. And it's really hard for those first 7 to 10 days. If you need, go get like a Vitamin Water Zero. Go get like these like sugar-free drinks that are still sweet. And as you wean off of it, after those 7 to 10 days, you're going to completely kill your craving. You're not going to have a craving anymore. It's going to be really easy not to have those sugary drinks. Okay. So that's sugar. Avoid sugar in general. Now, the next thing is actually in line with sugary drinks, which is avoid anything that's not water. Just drink water. Only drink water. Now, obviously, you're going to have those times where you go out with your partner, you go out with your friends, have a little alcohol. That's okay, as long as you know exactly what you're drinking. The problem is that people drink so many alternatives to water that they don't realize how many calories they're putting in their body that is just coming from drinks. And the problem with those is that they don't satiate you. You're basically just eating calories. You're eating sugar without getting the benefits of being satiated, right? And that's just an addiction at the end of the day, because if it was just thirst, you would have water. But instead, you want something sweet, right? You want that Gatorade. You want that orange juice. You want these variations of water, or these alternatives to water, I should say. And in your head, you're telling yourself, oh, I'm thirsty, I want that. But in reality, if you were just thirsty, you would have water. So you need to kill that sugar craving immediately. And when you do go out to the bar, you know, you're having fun with friends and you're going out, try to avoid cocktails, because they do tend to put syrups and different types of sugary material in those drinks to try to make them consumable and make them, you know, obviously taste good. If you can avoid those, a beer is going to be better than that, or just go with something a little bit more rigid when it comes to, the cocktail side of things, maybe just like a tequila soda or something like that, then go with that. If that is completely disgusting to you, maybe you shouldn't be drinking in the first place. But again, do this in moderation. You can have a cocktail a week or whatever it is, a couple. These are just ideas, things to be aware of, and what I generally follow. I've had periods where I go out a lot and I actually drink a lot, but I've always kept it to tequila sodas, maybe some beer, but not too much, right? Not too much of that. And so be aware of that. So that basically covers the diet aspect of how to maintain shredded year round, and just following these principles year round. It's really easy to do. And when you follow these principles consistently, it's really not hard to maintain a body like this. And the reason it's not hard is because it's super sustainable. You're not going to have cravings. You're actually going to be full all the time because you're eating foods that actually fill you up. A potato is going to fill you up more than a loaf of bread. Meanwhile, you might have similar caloric values there, right? And so you're actually going to be eating less calories, but within food that's going to fill you up more. Not only that, but eating this way consistently will allow you to break away from that diet, if you want to call it a diet. I don't even call it a diet because more of it's just a lifestyle eating regime. But it's going to allow you to have a piece of cake every now and then, and it's not going to do nothing to your body. Your body's going to eat that up, because when your body is introduced to foreign foods that it's not used to, because you're in such a regular regime of just eating whole foods, it actually devours that food super quickly. And not only that, but if you're consistently working out, which that's the next part we're going to get into, then when you do stray off the diet a little bit, that sugar intake that you get, that raised insulin level, is going to go straight to your muscles, and you're going to absorb it a lot better than you would if you consistently eat those foods, which if you consistently eat those foods, your body's actually going to store those as fat as opposed to energy sources for your workout. And so I'm actually able to eat more junk food when I want, because my body's not used to that junk food on a consistent basis. And so the sugar and the fat and all the negative stuff that is in that junk food actually affects me a lot less than someone else who eats that all the time.
Both pockets. That is my dog.
Another thing too is, regardless of when your first meal is, it needs to be a hearty meal. A lot of people set themselves back by eating a tiny little breakfast, like, oh, just something on the go. Obviously, like I said before, don't eat anything processed. But some people make two mistakes, is like they eat something small and they eat something processed. But even if you eat something whole, like they say, oh, I'm gonna eat let me just get a banana and run out of the door and let that be their breakfast, it's not hearty enough to stop you from craving different foods, right? Or it's probably not enough to hold you over till lunchtime. Or even if it is, by the time you get to lunchtime, you're gonna be so hungry that you're probably gonna pig out on something that you shouldn't, or you're gonna be more likely to choose something that's more high calorie. But if you can eat something that's more dense, that is more calorie full or calorie heavy in the beginning of the day, obviously within the rules that we talked about before, whole foods, no sugar, no dairy, things like that, then you're actually setting yourself up to eat pretty evenly and eat pretty healthy throughout the rest of the day. And so that's something that's underrated, that I realize most people do make mistakes with. They try to eat that quick little breakfast. They think that, oh, it's like small, so you're setting yourself up good for the day because you're already, starting yourself off on a low calorie count. Actually, that has the opposite effect, where if you start low, you're probably going to eat more later. Whereas if you eat more to start the day, you're actually going to eat less throughout the rest of the day. So that's a quick tip for you guys as well.
As soon as I get there, walk in, I'ma put her on the full nails. I'm on my way, I'm going fast. I'm coming home to get you. I'm on my way, I'm going fast. I'm coming home to get you. Bust down, rollies for the clear. Got these bitches dancing on the deck. They gon' wait in line for this drill. I'ma give them mine, then deal. I'ma try to kill her for the real. $30,000 in my ear. I ain't gotta sign no deal.
Now, as always, guys, there are exceptions. For example, I told you to only drink water. However, I have this Body Armor here, which has 19 grams of sugar. Now, why am I drinking this 19 gram of sugar drink when I told you to avoid sugary drinks at all costs and only drink water? Well, because I'm bulking right now, so I'm trying to gain weight. The last 2 months, I've gained about 15 pounds, which is a lot of weight. I gained it pretty quickly. Now, I did have weight to gain. I was pretty lean before. But all that to say that, like, when you are aiming for something, let's say you want to gain weight or you want to lose weight, there are certain things you can do that can help you get there. So for me, these types of drinks here serve two purposes. Number one, it helps me get additional calories in at an easier rate than just eating more food. The same reason that I said it was horrible is the same reason why it can be great, because these calories are basically empty calories, but I need those because I need the increase in calories. But for those who need a decrease in calories, this is poison. Okay, that's number one. The second reason is that it just gives me a boost during my workout. So here's a quick tip as far as consuming sugar. If you're ever going to consume sugar, just make sure that it is either right before a workout so that you can expend those calories immediately, or after a workout. After a workout is great, specifically after a resistance training workout, so like weightlifting or anything like, or something, or sprinting or something like that. The reason that's great is because it'll go straight into your muscles. Your muscles are going to be hungry and starving for glucose, and so this will go straight into your muscles. And if you are going to drink a sugary drink like this, try to make sure it's as natural as possible, man. Meaning that it doesn't have a million ingredients, and the ingredients that you see, you actually know, right? If you look at so many of these drinks, man, like Gatorade included, Gatorade's horrible. You see like 200 different ingredients. You can't even read them. If you can't read the ingredient, like if you can't pronounce it, it's probably a horrible ingredient. That's a great rule. For this, Body Armor, I would say, is great. So if you're in the situation like me, you need more calories, you're trying to bulk a little bit, or you just want that like something in the middle of your workout to give you some energy, this is great. I can't read it right now because I'm driving, but the main thing I try to avoid, by the way, is artificial sweeteners, because that shit gives you cancer, bro. Like sucralose especially. So you're gonna notice like most protein powders, like most nutritional shit that's supposed to be healthy is actually awful for you, because they have all these garbage ingredients, but specifically sucralose, these artificial sweeteners to make it sweet. And so Body Armor is sweetened with coconut water, and then other shit that's not sucralose and artificial sweeteners. So that's one thing as well. So I prefer Body Armor, and that's why I go with this.
Watching all you weirdos on the gram, and ain't no need to say who the realest in this shit. I took a stance to lead the way. I don't want no smoke with you. I see you, you gon' plead your case, cause my nigga gon' go at you, and them gon' tell him bleed the brakes. Yeah, bring the weapon in, and ain't no checking in. I told the promoter we can't bring them drugs, we ain't stepping in, no rolling over. We got lawyer money, don't do no questioning, man, know your soldier. We gon' make it clash shooters like Stephen and we warriors. Coming to Collins by the first story up. Wake up in Cali, bad bitch, water off Historia. Fly to Bali, she ain't tripping, she on the tour with us. Popping that pussy, acting different, she doing more for us. Big racks, got that bitch tweaking, yeah. Spin back, we bout to get even, yeah. Niggas said ain't no smoke with me, you better leave it there. Cause every city y'all niggas be popping out, I put it even if for real. I turn shorty up, sippin' on that 1942, I got my 42. Oh, you got your 42, nigga, I got 40 of them. I rock Cardis, you can't see my eyes cause I be pouring up. RIP my young boy, that's how Simon hit my shorty up. Told me never dress a strippin' bitch cause that's what caught him up. Every time you catch me in some shit, it call like 4 and up. Caught your homie lacking at the light, so shit, we tore it up. Fans came and grabbed you.
All right, so we finished that workout. It felt good. It was successful. Now let's get to the lifting portion of how to stay shredded all year long, because the diet is one aspect, and I would say it's probably the most important aspect, but it's 50-50. They complement each other. So if you got the diet aspect right, then you got to get the lifting and the working out aspect right as well. So here's what it comes down to, because a lot of people overcomplicate it. All you got to do, number one is consistency. Okay, that's the number one thing you got to focus on, is consistency. Now, what do I mean by consistency? Because you can apply consistency in a lot of different areas, in a lot of different ways. What I mean is that however often you choose to go to the gym, you need to go every week. Now, for that to be sustainable, you're not going to go 5-6 times a week, right? Unless you got so much free time and this is what you do for a living and you make content like me, then maybe you can. But even I typically go 3 to 4 times a week. Sometimes I'll go 5 times a week because I got that extra day, I got extra time, and I can go and maybe hit some accessory muscles, hit the biceps, and, you know, try to look all cute and everything like that. But most of the time, for the last 10 years of my life since I've been lifting, 90% of my weeks over the last 10 years, I've hit the gym at least 3 times, because on bad weeks where I'm super busy, I can still find 3 times. On great weeks where I'm not as busy, I'm gonna hit it at least 3 times. So 90% of your weeks, you need to be hitting the gym 3 times. Now, what kind of split do you do during those 3 workouts or 4 workouts if you can make it 4? Here's what I would recommend. Okay, here's what I do. I split my workouts into upper and lower body. Okay, so upper body, lower body. The reason I do that is because if I'm able to go to the gym 4 times, because I like going 4 times, if I'm able to go to the gym 4 times, which I am most weeks, then I can hit upper body, lower body, meaning that I hit each body part twice. Now, for optimal growth, for optimal development of your muscles, even if you're not trying to grow, but just trying to, you know, develop that muscle and get shredded, for that optimal development, you need to be hitting each muscle twice a week. So your typical bro split where you do chest and tries on Monday, you know, legs on Wednesday, back and bis on Friday, and that's it. It's not optimal because you're only hitting each muscle 1 time. Not to mention the fact that the optimal sets per body part in a workout is anywhere from like 6 to 12. If you're a freak of nature, maybe 15. And so even if you try to fit in 2 different days of a chest workout in one, you're really getting junk volume after that 12th set. You're not really developing the muscles anymore because you already kind of burned them out. And now all the rest of your exercises you're doing for chest or tries or whatever it is, whatever muscle group you're choosing, is junk volume. And so in my opinion, the optimal split is whatever you can hit each muscle twice a week. For me, since I'm going 4 times, it's upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body. If you're going 3 times a week, what I would suggest is upper body, lower body, and that third one be a full body workout. Okay, what you can also do is 3 full body workouts. That's amazing as well. Obviously, that means you're going to do less sets per muscle group in each workout because you're doing the full body. But when it comes to the whole week, you'll still be getting the same amount of volume. So consistency, we got that out the way. Okay, 3 to 4 times a week, at least 3 times, and do that consistently. Look, if you hit it twice on 1 week, that's okay. Bounce back the next week, hit it 3 times. The next big mistake that people make in the gym is not pushing themselves hard enough. If you notice in that workout that I just did, the last couple reps of every set I do, I'm literally pushing myself to exhaustion. Like when I think I can't get it, I get 2 more reps, okay? Every time I go and lift with a friend over my literal lifetime, no one has ever pushed themselves like I push myself. Yet everyone can push themselves. They just don't because they get uncomfortable. It's not fun to push yourself past that limit, but it stimulates growth. It stimulates development. I'm getting bit by bugs out here. So anyway, you need to push yourself hard, okay? Push yourself to failure. If you're doing 3 sets of a workout, which most exercises, I recommend doing 3 to 4 sets, anywhere in the 8 to 12 range most of the time. Sometimes if you're doing a lift that's not as taxing systemically, like let's say bicep curls, you can do 20 reps up to 30 reps, right? But the last few reps need to be to failure, need to be to exhaustion. And if you're doing 3 sets, like I was about to say, especially that last set, like if you want to leave a little bit in the tank in the first couple sets, that's okay, just so you can absolutely smash that last set, and it needs to go to failure to the point where, let's say you're doing incline dumbbell press, on that last one, you try to push it up and it just can't move. Right? And when it can't move, you don't just drop it. You keep trying to push because that push is going to help you grow. Okay. So that's number 2, is most people don't push themselves hard enough. That's a fact. Okay. And if you're getting triggered by this, is because you know that you don't push yourself hard enough. The third thing, and I got to get this one out before the sun sets. The sun's already setting. Looks beautiful over there. It's a nice little sunset. I'll show you in a second. But the last thing is progressively overloading. Every single time you lift, you need to be getting stronger. And so last week on the incline dumbbell press, I'm using this as an example because this is an exercise that I'm trying to get stronger at right now because I want to develop my upper pecs, okay, my upper chest. And so last week I hit 105s on the incline dumbbell press. I did 3 sets of 7. Okay, today I got 110s. Now I hit 6 reps on the first set, 6 reps on the second set, and then I got 5 reps on the third set. Today was kind of a failure for me because I don't know if I really got stronger because yes, I did more weight, but I did less reps. So ideally, you know, when you go up in weight, you want to keep the same reps. That's how you determine if you're getting stronger or not. Okay, or you keep the same weight and you're able to do more reps. And so I don't think I got stronger from last week to this week. Probably had to do with the fact that I really underate the past couple of days. I've been bulking, as I've said, so I've had kind of a negative reaction. I've said that on a couple of videos. I can't wait to stop bulking because I'm just not good at overeating calories. I just perform way better when I'm actually in a deficit. My body just performs much better. My brain works better, all of that. But nonetheless, I didn't get stronger. But you need to try to get stronger every single workout. And up till last week, when I hit those 105s, I've been literally increasing sets and reps and weight every single time, feeling stronger and stronger and stronger. And so if you're not pushing yourself every single workout where you're getting stronger each time, you're pushing more weight each time, bench press, squat, dips, you're doing more reps, push-ups, you're doing more reps, leg extensions, you're doing more weight, more reps. If you're not getting stronger every single time, then you're not getting bigger. You're not getting more development. Okay, you're not developing your muscles in the way that's proper. And so that's going to be the third thing there. Okay, if you compare those three things, consistency, pushing yourself to failure, and progressively overloading, if you compare that with the diet, like I said before, let me go off the top of the head right now. Eat only whole foods, no processed foods, no sugar, no dairy. Only water instead of any other drinks, especially no sugary drinks, unless you're drinking a Body Armor like me while you're working out. And eating a high amount of protein, 1 gram per 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and eating healthy fats, olive oil, avocados, and nuts and nut butters, dude, you're going to be an animal. You're going to be able to stay shredded all year long. I'm telling you, and you're not going to have these cravings that are going to knock you off course at all, especially when you pair it with the workouts. You're going to get stronger, you're going to stay jacked, and you're going to feel good. That's the most important thing. You're going to feel good. And when you feel good, it's easy to look good. And when you look good, you feel good. Dude, it's literally like a chicken and the egg thing. Like, if you look good, you feel good. Yeah, but you got to feel good to want to look good, right? And so those two things are going to make you feel great, man. And the last thing, and I'll just say this right before the sunset. I'll show you the sunset real quick because it's actually quite pretty back there. I'm in this random parking lot right now, right outside the gym. But the last thing is get your walks in, man. If you can get 8 to 12,000 steps a day, that's going to be ideal, okay? Especially if you want to be lean. If you're bulking like I am right now, the steps are going to be a little bit less important. But if you can get your steps in the 8 to 12,000 steps a day, dude, you're actually going to burn more fat than you do by running. Okay, running is incredibly overrated, the most overrated exercise of all time, because it actually makes you hungry, which makes you eat the calories that you burn while you were running. Is it good for your heart? Yes, it's great for your heart. But aesthetically, running does fucking shit for you, unless you're doing sprints. Okay, if you're doing sprints, that's a video for another day, and that's going to be part of my cutting routine, which we're going to start in 2026. We're going to go deeper into that. But walk 8 to 12,000 steps every single day. Walking will burn calories without increasing your hunger, dude. So that's literally a cheat code. It's a super easy way to do it, and it's super easy to do all day, every day. You're walking to the coffee shop, you're walking to the grocery store, you're walking to the gym. You know, if you live in a city, obviously, sometimes I walk to the gym, sometimes I drive, but walk around, right? You're lifting in the gym, but walk around while you're resting. Like, walking is super easy to do. Walk with your partner, walk with your friend, walk on the phone with your mom, walk listening to an audiobook, walk listening to podcasts. And that is going to burn visceral fat, which running doesn't really do, but walking burns that visceral fat, meaning that you're going to be lean, you're going to attack those fat cells, and that paired with a great diet and lifting is going to be insane. Okay, those are the three things, man. And I'm going to wrap this video here. Hope you found value in it. Okay, I'm going to go home, make a protein shake, drink a little creatine, and put in some work that I got to do today because I've been mainly focused on content today. And so if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.